What is going on, you beautiful bunch of savages? I am your host, as always, Cyrus the Looney, and this is Primetime 74. Joining me in the commentary booth is the ever-legendary Mr. Humbledink and JDime TV. How you doing, lads?
I'm doing fantastic, Cyrus and JDime. As always, there's 2 title fights on tonight's card. We are spoiled again, JDime. We have another classic. Look at this card. It is full of absolute bangers from top to bottom, JDime.
Yeah, it is. And this card was so nice, we didn't even do an intro. That's how many bangers it is. We got Nas versus BFAP Trixie, the former champ. We got Smudger, SDK Lewis. It's just so many other cards, so many other fights. What fights are you looking forward to the most, Humble?
Let's just break it down real quick, Cyrus, because it is, even every fight's got its own context, but we've got a title fight in NM Smudger versus Lewis, as JDime just said. Lewis on an absolute hot streak, Smudger, the indefinite PlayStation champion, constantly getting that. We got EK Donna coming off the back of the win over Naz last week. He's defending his belt against 4-0 Keza, who's on a rampant sort of killing streak at the moment, finishing people left, right and centre. Then you got the former champion Naz and Trixie. That is the Coco main event, as Doctor would say. Those 2 have fought before. They are both former champions. The rest of the card is crazy as well, Cyrus.
Yeah, honestly, man, these cards, night after night or event after event continue to get bigger and better somehow. I mean, every time I think that I've seen kind of all that this maybe community has to offer, these guys continue to level up, and we continue to find these storylines building in towards it. I mean, Donna and Keza have been talking a lot going into this one. Keza and a lot of his guys have been saying that they have the blueprint on a lot of the EK boys, and Donna's just going to be kind of mincemeat here this evening. But I mean, the champ is the champ for a reason, and he's been backing himself 100%, already got his songs picked out for the after party, or so he says. But as you look through the entire card, JDime, like you said, it is stacked absolutely top from bottom. The very first fight of this evening is ready and raring to go. These guys, EK Fonte up against KM Capalote, 2 guys that are known well within the scene, come from very respectable camps, and obviously you're going to be looking to put in one hell of a run here this season.
Are they ready? Are the fighters ready?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There they are.
Get it.
Welterweight is the weight class, my man. Robbie Lawler, Conor McGregor, Fonte, Conor McGregor. We've seen Fonte use him a few times, and I mean, he really likes to work his striking, and Conor's a great pick for him.
Yeah, definitely. And he's fought some tough competition as well recently, Fonte. As you said, in this prime time, he's had 2 fights this evening, in the past, and one of them is against the guy who's fighting for the belt at the moment, so it's the noisy outings. He finds himself at the bottom of the card now, JDime, trying to prove himself, getting himself back up to that middle standard, getting himself up to prelims, and it's still the start of the season. Everything can go for anybody here.
Yeah, and that just shows how stacked the card is, because he was just fighting on a main card, and now he's on a prelim. You know what I'm saying, Cyrus?
Yeah, sure, brother. This early season, it's we continue to get into it, but people are really starting to announce themselves as contenders here in this season. Obviously, a few people are undefeated, especially on the Xbox side of things. It's hard to be that way, brother. It's hard to be that way, but we know the pedigree of these fighters here, Humble. And as you can see already, Capalote looking to work a bit of an unorthodox game with Robbie Lawler, trying to get in his face, make it uncomfortable, and take the action to Conor early.
Yeah, definitely. He's trying to put that pressure on and hunt for mistakes, essentially, JDime. You like to play the back foot a lot. He's going forward at the moment. He's really trying to utilise that. What I'm expecting from Conor McGregor in front is to look for the openings when the stamina is low.
Ooh.
A nice leg kick there, Jay.
Yeah, and because of that, it's weird. Conor's winning this round. That's a leg stun. So even though he was getting pieced up on his back leg at one point, that leg stun counts for something, Cyrus.
Oh yeah, 100%. You know how much those big damage, those big moments count in the fight. It doesn't seem like Capalote is dissuaded from it at all, though, as he gets the hip toss here, Humble, now gets quite a lot of time to work on the mat after a decent amount of success, minus that leg kick.
Yeah, now he gets to test his ground game, and obviously starting to chip away. Some fighters don't even bother trying to unload JDime. What they'll do on the ground is they'll use positions like side control and that back to just gain extra body damage, extra head damage, and they're going to try and pump as much as they possibly can into like one ground session, but they're back on the feet now.
Yeah, and it's interesting that Robbie Lawler took him to the ground, but that's smart though. If someone have Conor, you want to put them on the ground, and we're going to test their grappling, Cyrus.
why not, brother? Especially early, especially in that first round, maybe the early part of the second. That's when Conor's going to be the most dangerous. And like I said, Capilotti had a lot of success, but that leg kick definitely meant that he had to change something up in this round, Humble. And he's done just that, and though he is maybe going back to the well now with what got into the dance, especially in the early part of the round.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just looking for Fonty to kind of start to really capitalise on the body health and the stamina that Lawler's thrown. Because he's thrown a lot of shots, Jay Dam. He's thrown four pieces, you know. If you can make him miss that third and fourth piece, you can really do some damage with a counter shot in that sort of segment.
That, and you can kill their stamina, because they're vulnerable if you make them miss. Like, you got the wide open side, the body kick, just anything. They're vulnerable, Humble.
100%. And as these two guys meet again in the centre of the octagon side, so trying not to be pushed back against that fence, as Conor McGregor starts to unload that jab and slowly pushing Robbie Lawler back, a very touchy-feely round.
Yeah, honestly, especially towards the last maybe minute of this round, EK Fonte has actually been really turning it up. He's been finding his range and his rhythm. A couple of shot selection errors which have meant that he hasn't been able to counter on some of the big slips that he's been able to pull out of the bag out here, Humble, but just with minor tweaks, he's going to be able to catch and rock Robbie Lawler and maybe start to completely change the momentum of the fight. But it is, easier said than done when you've got somebody like Capilotti standing in front of you.
Yeah, definitely. It's a close round, though, Jay Dam. It's very difficult, even though leg rock and stuff. There's not a lot of damage either way. I do give it to, I'm not sure, maybe Capilotti.
Yeah, I'm not
sure, actually, now we think of it.
Yeah. How do they judge the leg stun? Is it judged like a normal stun? That all depends. But if you don't have that leg stun, it's easily Robbie Lawler round, though, Cyrus.
Yeah, for sure, bro, for sure. As I said, there were moments for Conor McGregor that leg stun. Honestly, when Humble had mentioned maybe going to the body, I think that Fonte might have cured him. He did start mixing it in very, very nicely.
There we go.
He is looking a lot more loose, right, Humble. Although Capilotti, once again, is just not stopping that pace.
It's his range. He's where he's starting to find the shots now. He's starting to. He couldn't quite figure it out early on because he didn't know quite where to stand. So he was kind of waiting in a certain position and moving a lot and kind of taking a bit of damage doing it. But he keeps like setting his feet, Jay Dam, and then finding that perfect range to start firing his shots and timing as well in his opponent. It's nice.
Ooh. Yeah, Robbie Lawler's starting to have some success, but Conor's still landing some of them body shots every now and then. That's sneaky damage right there, Cyrus.
Definitely. You can see that head health blinking on McGregor every now and again, or within that range. Once again, these guys are tacticians, though, and they are trying to find any opportunity they can to get off big damage, to continue to land some of these tip-attack shots, or maybe get out the range of the first couple, landing the third here, Humble. It's anybody's game to play for at this stage.
Yeah, it definitely is. You've got Fonte playing the long game, I believe, and Capilotti trying to win the rounds the best of his can. So far, it's really close. He might have done that, and that might be his plan. Just to conserve his stamina in the third after winning two. He's got to be careful with that because you can see Fonte starting to have little glimpses. But Capilotti so far in this round, Cyrus, he's done a good job of kind of keeping him off him and not landing too many of those counter shots.
Yeah, for sure. Pretty decent job all around. Like I say, he's choosing these moments to explode, choosing these moments to go forward there, Jake. And honestly, that front kick, that lead leg front kick that he's continued to use has been an absolute wonder for him, and he's been able to maintain so much range because of it.
Yeah, but he got to watch out for that elbow. Conor has landed that elbow a few times on him. And if he would have took a step back, I was about to say, there we go. He kicked in boxing range. This may be over soon, Humble.
I was about to say, it's a crucial minute in the round as it's coming up. The last minute of that round, it could have been 2-0 to essentially Lawler if he won that round. He might have been able to coast a bit more in the next round, but Fonte decided right there, I want to win this round, and he did a really good job of hurting his opponent. Might have stolen that one there, Cyrus.
Yeah, it was perfect timing, absolutely peach of a combination that he threw out there. I'm impressed with the way that Capilotti just doesn't give a fuck about that. He just goes back to chopping up the wood, but some big moments from McGregor, some big moments. We've got to think that he's comfortably held here, I would imagine. He's definitely in the second. I wonder if he's going to show us the first round stats.
Crazy. It's crazy because he's been outlanded in both rounds, but he's had a significant moment in both of them rounds, Humble.
Yeah, definitely. Like the leg check is big. Like the leg checks aren't viewed upon quite a lot.
Oh, never.
he's ahead in this round. This could be, like I said, it could be 1-1 going into this one. So Cap a lot has come out firing, and as Cyrus said, he just said, you know, I do not give an F about this, Cyrus. He just went for it, balls to the wall.
Oh, it's over. He killed him. He just killed him. Oh, he's dead.
That's a fatality, bro. That's a fatality, bro.
Oh, every shot landed.
Rest in peace, Connor.
Everything Fonty was doing just... Can you see me stop?
This hurts me as a Connor fan. Connor didn't deserve that. That's
I do apologize, guys.
The uppercut on that.
Hey, stop.
It was maybe a little bit more than what was needed. He was out, and he was well out, but Fonty was actually down on the judges' scorecards there. I don't know if you saw that.
yeah, but I don't. How do you give the other person round 2?
I know.
Round 1?
It was a 2018.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't make sense, right?
I don't know who was just judging that.
Well, either way. Either way. I've said it before, right? Like, it is genuinely the most realistic part of the game, UFC 4. It's just on how wildly inconsistent the judges are. Don't really have rhyme or reason to them, but nevertheless, that was one hell of a knockout, brother. One hell of a knockout. And Jay, it sets us up pretty nicely for the next one. It's Kai Films up against the Pug DS. This is actually on PlayStation, and I mean, I personally know Pug from a very long time, being a member of the community for, well, I think, 2-3+ years at this stage, and mainly been fighting on Xbox. I'm not 100% certain, but I think this might be his first time across on PS, and he's getting welcomed by Kai Films, which is an absolute phenom. He hasn't been in the community for a little while. He is back now and looking to make a bit of an impact here, obviously on this card.
Yeah, I just want to know what made Pug switch consoles. What made him come to the dark side over here on PlayStation? I want to ask him that.
We'll see if we can get it from the back, brother. We'll see if we can get it from the back. I mean, he, he's had some real good runs, don't get me wrong, on the Xbox side of things, and been in or about that kind of title contention. And I think the same can be said about Kai. It's been a while since I've seen the guy, so we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I'll find out from the back, but I think he's been former contender and maybe even won a belt one time back in the day. But like I said, it's been a little while, so he's here to get himself going, or so it would seem. Yair Rodriguez up against Giga Chikadze. I can't say his last name, but you know what I'm saying.
Chikadze? I know you. I know one of y'all was gonna say that.
Sorry, guys. I had a system malfunction. But I'm back. Yeah, sorry.
You're all good, bro.
You had a wardrobe malfunction?
Siri just started playing, it wouldn't stop, and I couldn't. Nobody was controlling it. I don't know what's going on. It was playing Teletubbies and all sorts. Sorry, guys. Anyway, these two are both fantastic competitors. Obviously, Kaiw is a long time competitor.
Kai, humble.
He gave me my first ESFL loss, Kai. So he's it's been a lot. He's been around a long time, and he's a good competitor. Known for his grappling usually, but yeah, I'm not sure him picking a striker. Maybe he's changed it up, Cyrus.
Yeah, we will have to see. He definitely was dominantly more of a wrestler in the past, but a lot of guys have been making those kind of changes to their game. The game's been out for a long time now, you've got to remember, right? And people like Jakey and the likes who have traditionally been grapplers, maybe now trying to fully diversify their game, and it's played dividends for somebody like Jakey, so maybe Kai is the same, but like I said, Pug has been around for a long time, humble, and I mean, he's no spring chicken. He's here. He's a veteran. He knows he knows what to do and what to expect when coming up against top level opponents.
Yeah, definitely. He's gonna be looking for that head kick as well. You got to be thinking he's Yair Rodriguez. He likes to throw the kicks. Be a bit flashy sometimes. I'm expecting some of them kicks. Oh, okay. Matching each other, kick for kick time.
Yeah, this is supposed to be a kickboxing match. Both of them are really good kickboxing. I don't think I'll see any grappling unless somebody starts getting pieced up, Cyrus.
Yeah, for sure, brother, for sure. Once again, these guys, both of them, actually do like to grapple a fair bit, so I don't know what it is. Maybe they just had fair enough respect for each other's grappling and decided to meet it out on the feet. They are swinging bombs at the moment, though, humble, and they're landing more often than not. This is a beautiful offense. Defense definitely something to be desired, but offense definitely out of this world, brother.
Yeah, definitely. one of the things about the character selection that I
What just happened? It's just winning. Whoa. Oh, he just stunned him. He had just stunned him.
The pug comes out in the first round and gets a home run, Cyrus. If there is one, that is one right there.
Don't doubt him, bro.
That's crazy. He just stunned him like a second ago. He had stunned him and next it.
And now he's out. Now he needs a body bag.
No,
it's the way it goes. It's the way it goes.
That's crazy.
Remember last week, J-Dan? Do you remember what happened last week? It was like 6 different comebacks. It was absolutely crazy.
Yeah, but like, it wasn't a secret. It wasn't like he just started piling on and making a hell of a comeback like you did. No, he had got stunned, and next thing you know, he just said, "I'm gonna uppercut him. It's over.
He's out.
It's over." That's crazy.
I was about to say the character selection sometimes as well. It might have played a factor or not. Because it's 4 stars, because we have prelims, obviously the 4 stars and or under, and with the main event you can kind of pick everybody you can mirror match. What it does is it forces a lot of grapplers, like grapplers I kind of use are usually 4 stars and above, so it forces you to kind of try and pick a different type of grappler, and some people don't want to take that risk, Cyrus.
No, definitely, brother, definitely. It's like I said, it really diversifies not only the character picks that we see, but also the tactics that we can see employed in these fights. And you know, like in this next one, for example, I get a little bit of a look ahead. It appears as they just get set up. I believe Toasty Toast is actually going to go Paul Craig in light heavyweight, and we're going to see Johnny Walker standing across from him. I mean, what a fight, bro! What a fight!
Johnny Walker versus Paul Craig. I find it difficult to use these characters. I don't know about you.
First of all, after Paul Craig's last performance against Volkan Ozdemir, I don't want to use him because he walked out there like he was the man. Like I was willing to put money on him, and guess what happened?
You're disrespecting all the Scottish people right now who support this man, including Cyrus probably. I know he's not Scottish, but he was. But no, he likes Paul Craig. I know he likes Paul Craig. I told you. You see, I had the excitement. It was like Christmas when he found out he was fighting.
Oh, bro, I just think it's an out there pick, isn't it? Like, you don't see it too often, and once again, that comes into play when you have these 4-star picks. It allows people to branch out and maybe just not go those meta picks. You don't want to see, you know, Dustin Connor every fight or those sorts of matchups.
Or Peter Yan every fight.
Yeah,
nobody wants to see it every fight. Nobody wants to lose, though, and that's the problem with this game. It's kind of finding the right balance. And sometimes, if your opponent picks Paul Craig, you know, I'll think to myself, okay, I'm going to pick someone I don't usually pick as well, or someone I like to play with, because that first pick's so important to kind of make that matchup. You kind of got to be good about it as well.
Okay.
He's got a head pick though. Okay. Big overhand. Paul Craig landing some bombs.
Are these two actually fighting in real life? Are they being
I think they are, bro. I think this is actually
That's interesting. That's an interesting fight.
We get a preview of who's gonna win this fight and how.
Yeah, we're basically getting a spoiler, but to be real with you, this is the most punches. Oh, he should have went down. This is the most punches I've seen Paul Craig throw.
There we go.
Because he wasn't throwing last fight, Cyrus.
He definitely wasn't. One of the first takedown attempts I've ever seen him do.
He doesn't. He just pulls guard.
Yeah, he pulls guard normally, but he's now in top mode.
Oh!
Ground and pound on Johnny Walker, and Johnny Walker survives. He tries to go to the right there to try and get back to half guard, and does successfully, J-Dan.
Yeah, and we get the side saddle now. This is not where Johnny Walker wants to be, even though his last fight, he did get a rear naked choke. But you don't want to be on the ground with Paul Craig, someone whose grappling is like his, Cyrus.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, as far as I can see, every Brazilian knows how to grapple. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu goes a long way, but there are levels to it, and Paul Craig definitely seems to have more of a submission threat. Goes to it often and early. That's kind of more of what we want to see out of something like Johnny Walker, right? Humble, landing those hands, picking his shots, and looking to, you know, kind of defend these takedowns, which are inevitably going to come.
Yeah, definitely. Paul Craig is playing like Paul Craig. He's trying to shoot, or he's trying to play in a sort of way that's going to help him as well. But Johnny Walker's starting to find his range right now. He's starting to land some shots. J-Dan, he needs to get out of them positions. Got to concentrate on your footwork right there.
Yeah, he has to stay away from the cage, because once you get to the cage, it makes it easier. You can trap them on the cage. It's easier to get them down once they touch that cage, Cyrus.
Yeah, it is. I mean, obviously, same kind of conversely, if you end up in full guard, it is easier to work your way back to your feet in these positions, but it's, you know, Just kind of pick your poison right now with him because he's staying active and moving, but he does get the reversal humble very time.
Beautiful sweep right there. And gets the top position, but gets put back. And this is where Paul Craig is dangerous. Let's not forget, he's a master at submissions. Doesn't quite get what he wants right there because he's now back on the feet. And he's going to get Johnny Walker has chased him. He's got snow.
It may be over soon. He did that. He should have never did that. Now you're in the way of Johnny Walker's nuclear power, Cyrus.
Yeah, 100% uppercut city came his way and sat him down pretty quickly. Johnny Walker now feeling himself and is striking, but looks like Toasty is starting to try and mount the comeback. He doesn't seem too phased, but got to be a little bit worrying, and he's got to be a little bit more kind of careful about those kicks. Humble, I mean, obviously doesn't have to be worried about getting taken down, being the grappler, happily being on his back and trying to submit his opponent, but he's just getting clipped way too many times with that boxing as a result.
Fundamentals as well, like he's trying to make it nasty, he's trying to make it dirty, he's trying to get in there, which is the correct things to do, but you've also got to establish your jab, establishing your lead weapons. You can't forget about the other part of the game, J-Dime. You can't just start, shooting for takedowns. Completely wrong.
Touch, bro. That was a big one touch as well.
He looked like Hamza Chimaev versus Kevin Holland. That's what it looked like.
Let's see if that was a waste though, because he gets his back right now. It seems not J-Dime. Now he's got a great position. Can't go for the rear naked choke as per the rules, but he can go for the armbar.
But he takes top mount instead. But this still is a dominant position.
Oh, this is not good for King John Snow.
Oh.
Block has been annihilated. Paul Craig still looking good. Pushed back into half guard, but not for long. Humble. Active work on the ground, and that get up isn't going to help him in that one.
Oh, here we go. Though, this will. Oh, he gets out of it. I'm not quite sure what happened right there.
No, he cancelled it. He cancelled it.
He's doing the drain stamina thing there. He's got over him now. It's over.
Oh,
we're there.
Wait.
King John Snow is not dead. He's rising. Well, John Snow got up again.
He's not dead.
He's rising. He's rising.
He's kind of dead, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of dead.
Wait. It's not over. The fat lady didn't sing yet. It is not over. It is close. It is real close.
You gotta really get Oh, no. It's over. Paul Craig snatches another arm in the second round, I do believe. Yep.
He must have hated him because the tactics he pulled there.
I mean, that's how you have to fight you down with those characters. You have to.
No, I'm not. I'm saying a fake glove touch to the armbar drain. He must have talked about his mom or something because there was some hate with what he did to him.
There was a next level of disrespect with the fake glove touch into it. But look, he did what he needed to win. And
he did what he needed to do.
Protect yourself at all times, Humble. Protect yourself at all fucking times.
I don't wait until the ref tells me I can punch him for punching. You know what I mean? Like, there's no. Once the ref says go, that's the fight. Like, you don't start a fight with your school bully and then touch his glove at the start of it. You punch him in the face before he punches you.
Yeah, 100%. Bro.
It's a fist fight, Cyrus. It's a fist fight.
That it is, sir. That it is. Up next, my guys, with that one in the history books, we are going to be moving on to another two savages that are no strangers to competing within these sorts of communities. LW's very own Backwood up against Proper Steve. Haven't actually seen Proper Steve in a little while. Might be the first time. I know that you pulled a couple of his fights in the past there, Humble. A guy that used to be kind of really known as the comeback king. He's never out of a fight. You go into the fights, normally start good, get the shit kicked out of him, but then somehow get last second knockouts and all sorts. But he's been away for a little while, maybe taking some time to work on his craft, and that's potentially going to be needed up against one of LW's own. I mean, they're a very good camp that have produced many, many good fighters, and I imagine that Bill Backwood is one of the kind of cut of that elk, if you will.
Yeah, 100%. Both guys are in a position because they're both great fighters, and anybody from LW, as you know, J-Dan, they always bring it every single time, and he's going to be representing his camp tonight. A lot of new changes amongst the esports world with ourselves and different organisations with camps, so there's a lot of emphasis on that lately, J-Dan, and people are trying to represent, and it's getting thrown about a lot more as well, so it adds to these beefs, it adds to these little rivalries that we're going on. Other organisations have these things going on, and they bring it into here, and it ends up in the chats and ultimately in the fights.
Yeah, and a lot of times because of that. They fight emotional because
Oh yeah.
a lot of times you got hate in your heart for that person after all of that. And sometimes it's good. A lot of times it's bad for your performance, Cyrus.
Yeah, look, it can be a driving force, or it can be something that saps all of your focus and energy. It really depends on the individual, I suppose, and how you how you kind of deal with that. In this fight right here, Proper Steve going Kevin Lee up against Max Holloway. Now, look, to be straight up with you, Proper Steve is a striker. I've never seen this man shoot a takedown, humble. And he has gone Kevin Lee. And I think that he's going to need some takedowns in order to really kind of be able to survive with Max Holloway on the feet.
Wait. Have you seen Kevin Lee versus Gregor Gillespie?
Wow, I was thinking
Bro,
that. That's
please don't
crazy.
do that.
Why did you just
He knocks
say
him
what I thought
out
of?
cold with a head kick, Cyrus. You disrespect this man's striking. This man can strike. At one point, this man was considered one of the best people in the world. He fought for the interim title. People will forget about Kevin Lee, but he was brutal at one point, and by God, can someone use him on this game properly? Don't forget, we've got a Max Holloway not in his right weight class as well, Cyrus.
Yeah, for sure. It is true, but still Max Holloway is an absolute demon, no matter kind of where he is, to be perfectly honest with you. Lovely little poke out early, backward, looking to favour the striking, and seems very comfortable working behind that jab right now, Jake.
Yeah, he got to keep using them jabs and them straights because even though Kevin Lee's throwing, look how fluid Max striking looks compared to his, humble.
He's putting them together nicely. And sometimes it doesn't matter about the character. We do emphasise on that a lot of it, but sometimes the player that you're playing knows how to just fight in a certain way. Cyrus, it's hard to beat.
Sure, it's about who's behind the sticks, but right now I'm really liking the opening moments for Max Holloway. Kevin Lee's going to be feeling okay. He's landed some shots, he's putting on pressure, but he's just getting clipped too many times, Jay, as he's trying to force the action going forward.
I say Kevin Lee needs to shoot a takedown because Kevin Lee once mounted Tony Ferguson. He had Charles Oliveira mounted too. He had a lot of great moments in his underwhelming career, humble.
Yeah, he did. 100% had a lot of great moments. But Max Holloway, he's also been on the tough end of certain. He has never won at lightweight, for instance. Can he get a win there? Who knows?
He's only fought once.
Exactly. He's not won. Am I lying?
No lies detected, humble.
No lies detected. So Kevin Lee can essentially beat him a dig and not on two. So there we go. Kevin Lee.
Oh my God!
Oh no, Kevin!
Oh, Kevin, yes!
Oh God, these guys are going to be laughing. But it's a great fight so far, actually, Cyrus. Even though we are joking and messed about it, it's been a fantastic fight between both of these guys, and there's been back and forth moments as well.
Yeah, look, Proper Steve, like I said, when he gets clipped, it's like Charlie Olives. His overall statistics go up by at least 10. He was very, very dangerous for the moment he was clipped there, got one instantly back, and now he's able to secure a takedown, and this is the first time he's been able to hold him here, Jay, which is going to be massive for his confidence, and just knowing that maybe he's starting to break his opponent with these attempts and with this pressure.
Yeah, because this is exactly where Kevin Lee wants to be. I know we talk about Kevin Lee knocked out Gregor Gillespie with a head kick, but you don't want to stand with Max Holloway. Let's be real, humble.
No, you don't. I am joking with it. Like he is clearly going to be outclassed in the streak against one of the greatest sort of pressure strikers of all time in Max. But he's not doing too bad. Like I said, it is the character behind this player behind the sticks, and he's doing all right. But I can see where Cyrus is coming from. He's getting clipped a few too many times. He needs to kind of be in dominant positions, and he's going to get that as well. And I'll put back to your point, on the ground, not on his bum, Cyrus.
Yeah, no, mate, he is having a world of trouble. But as I've said before, and I will say it again, Proper Steve is dangerous to the very end. He seems to get more dangerous as his stamina and health seems to disappear before our eyes. But he's had some good moments, as you can see, landing more significant shots. Oh, so it would seem from the statistics right there. But Max Holloway, for my money out here, Jay, was just landing the cleaner of the shots, especially on the entry, and obviously got the bigger shots with the rock and the knockdown.
He was just landing the shots that put him down. Kevin Lee didn't look bad, but like we said, the stats may look like they're going in Kevin Lee's favor, but you don't want to stand with Max. It's kind of stupidity, humble.
I'm not calling him stupid for standing on Max. He can do what he wants, but it's not going well at the moment. He can still come back. Like, end of the day, you can do this badly on the feet, and I've proven it. You can come back and win the fight. He just needs to kind of let that round brush off, act like it didn't happen, and start having a game plan that's going to suit his character style, Cyrus.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like where Prophecy is having some issues right now, because he's a striker, he's used to throwing combinations, and he's picked a guy that obviously has some grappling at his disposal. Does get the ankle pick right there, but just very briefly, he was actually throwing too many combinations, which was allowing Max Holloway the superior kind of striking pick, if you will, to get some of those pulls and counters. But at least now he's got him on the mat, Humble, and he's able to work his ground and pound, which of course is, as we keep saying, where Kevin Lee ultimately wants to be up against Max Holloway.
Yeah, definitely, he's doing well to keep him on his back. Anyway, he's back now for roughly half a minute, and Jay Diamond needs to rack up some points, because if it does go back to the feet, clearly when Pearl gets back to his feet, that's where he's going to do his scoring and his damage. So now it's a case of not letting him up, keeping him where he is, and just picking away.
Oh, yeah,
what the hell just
yeah. He just faked the up. He just faked the up from top mount.
It makes it easier though, because when you do that, Cyrus, it actually gives you a bigger window to block the next transition.
If you can feint it, then you can get it. It's like what you say. Lovely move though. Gets a little reversal and now gets top mount of his own. Max Holloway looking to throw those hands.
Oh wow, here we go. Max Holloway's on top. He's got them wings on the back, and he's going to try and posture up. Pearl Backwood is going to try and give him a piece of his own medicine. Jay Dime right now.
I forgot that Max isn't that bad of a grappler, but he did grapple against Yair Rodriguez, so maybe Max can have some success grappling Kevin Lee, which sounds crazy, Cyrus.
Well, obviously, you know what we were saying earlier. It's about who's behind the sticks. That's no more important than it is on the mat. I mean, it really can be shown there. That's why, you know, you've seen people like Slick Holt and BFAP, kind of styles back in the days, go in people like Sam Alvey and just, you know, wrestle bugging people, and they couldn't do anything about it. It really is kind of where at least there's the biggest skill difference on the feet. Just the fact that, as you mentioned actually, Jay, the striking from Kevin Lee is just a little bit slower. He might still have like more power, but he's just not able to get off the same way Max Holloway can.
Yeah, and you were right about who's behind the sticks. I didn't see people use Conor McGregor and out grapple Damian Maya. For some odd reason, I didn't see that, but it's really the wizard who's holding the wand, Humble.
That's it. Yeah, that's exactly it. This game kind of reflects real life. You know, you've got to put the work into every area to kind of be good at it. Even clinch, I'll destroy people against that fence and clinch if they don't know what they're doing. You know, you've got to learn each part of the game, otherwise it's going to come back to bite you. And some people have some things that, you know, they know they're not going to be able to stop, or they know that's going to be difficult, and they're confident with that, Cyrus.
Yeah, exactly right. Going into this next round, Kevin Lee needs to be wary of that full uppercut at court. I think best advice would be to try to lower those combinations. But for Max Holloway, I mean, he is pitching a really good fight right now. Of course, he's been mounted a few times, Jay, but he's been pretty defensively sound on the mat. And when he's on the feet, he just seems to be fully in the driver's seat.
Yeah, he's had some moments where he was in trouble with Kevin Lee on top of him, but for the most part, Max has been landing the heavier shots, Humble.
He definitely has it. He's now in the driver's seat, as you said, and he's got his... Going against that fence, Cyrus, we talk about it so many times. What that fence does, it stops you from going backwards, so you lose a position, and obviously you walk into more shots when you're moving sideways, but it doesn't matter now because he's on top.
Yeah, he was able to drive him 2% of the cage, now able to secure a half guard. We will see if he's able to advance from this position, but he's going to be happy, although I have to say he's probably down on the scorecards right now, Jay, so for my money at least, I think the guy needs a decision. Needs a finish.
Honestly, we don't know because these judges they're wishy-washy. We don't know. For all we know, Kevin Lee could be up 20-18, Humble.
Yeah, definitely. The wishy-washy. Well, these judges are wishy-washy, Cyrus. That's exactly what they are. They don't know what they're doing. You know, they've got boxing judges and people who just took off the street doing the judging here. We don't know what's going to happen.
Well, don't let it get there, I suppose, is the quickest.
Exactly.
They've got 3 minutes. Of course, as we've mentioned many times in the past, though, our ranking system is all points-based. You get more points for finishes the earlier the better. There is 2 minutes 40 left in this third round, Jay. Looks like Kevin Lee's working that ground and pound, but definitely needs to up it somewhat to really kind of put his mark on this round at least, if nothing else.
He has to do damage with it because Max is landing the damage, even though Kevin Lee is on top of him. Control don't account for nothing. I'm going to be real with y'all. It does not account for nothing unless it's effective. You're landing some shots with it, some submission attempts, something humble.
Preach, Dime. That's exactly what the judging criteria says. It is all about damage. You are in a fight. It's not whether you can control somebody and stop them from damaging you for a full 5 rounds. It's what damage they have done to you and you have done to them. Have you tried to stop their ability to fight? Have you tried to put them out? Have you tried to submit them? And that's ultimately what scores you the fight, Cyrus.
Yeah, and I will say that Property is definitely trying, but he's doing them from non-optimal positions like full guard, which is meaning that the damage is just not adding up quickly enough on backward at this stage for my money. He's got a minute left, and of course this is a great position to be in. Postures up, does allow potentially Max Holloway to get out of the position quite easily, but more and more of what he needs. And quite honestly, I'm liking the fact he's punching on the transitions as well. As Max is getting back to the feet, he's getting that cheeky kind of the sweeping punch here, Jay, and they can all add up. Now's the time to make them work, though. 25 seconds left.
I'm really interested if this goes to the judges, how they're going to score. Oh, wait. Kevin Lee may have a comeback in him.
Was the
Nice
comeback
work,
in.
3 seconds. 1.
Ooh.
It's not going to be boys, but first. I think it might be the second decision, actually, Cyrus. Is that right?
No, the first one, brother. This is the first decision of this
season 4. Of season 4, there's been no. This is the first. Imagine the first decision of the season.
Bro. I don't think it's been far off. You know, like we've had
decisions are rare around here. Like Primetime doesn't usually get them, and we got one tonight, and it was a fantastic fight. And I think
he got his hands up. Kevin Lee got his hands up too.
Kevin Lee might won 3-0.
The winner by split decision.
Split decision.
Well, wait, what?
Max Flex.
Oh, okay.
He did win it by split decision, guys. Split decision. I will be interested to see if they show us the scorecards very, very briefly. I'd be interested to see what that, that kind of judge that was on his own was kind of scoring it. But
Eddie Heard's judge.
2, 3.
Oh.
So you're on it.
Okay, that's close. There's a takedown there.
That's close.
I mean, he might have won that fight, actually. Looking back at it,
Mate, he was robbed. You guys talking about Max Holloway through that fight. I was talking about Kev. Jeez, he was robbed.
By the Suns, at least. It's hard to run. I mean, what we were watching, I think Max was winning the fight, but ultimately, some of the stuns up here went the other way.
Well, remember Cheeto versus a prime example of this is Cheeto Vieira versus Rob Font. Rob Font outlanded him nearly 4-1, J-Dime, but it was clearly obvious watching that fight. Cheeto pieced him up. Every single shot that he landed was almost a finishing move, whereas Rob Font was just landing shots.
You're right. You're right about that, because if you look at the stats, you think Rob Font whooped his ass. But if you watch the fight, it's something different.
Yeah, 100%. I've done a social experiment with that fight. Took the name out, put it on something, asked people what they thought, and every one of them thought the opposite person. So you don't quite know. The stats don't give you the full story, is what we're saying. But it is a win for backward, LW backward as well. Good, he's representing that team, J-Dan. We mentioned it a second ago, and now he's getting a win. And I believe if Cyrus is ready, we're going to be moving on to our next fight of this evening. It has been a slight mix-up from earlier on, but we've now got Raw Matrix stepping in on short notice. A fantastic commentator, fantastic guy, versus TBK Tim, I believe it is.
Yeah, or Tim Cold Winter is his PSN. But yeah, that is absolutely right, bro. Raw Matrix comes from obviously a fantastic camp. We've seen many of their competitors come through here and do very, very well. Tim I know a little bit less about. I don't know, we'll see if we can find the record in the back, but basically everybody here is going to be on a winning record, especially as you move up the card. Of course, I imagine that he's had some good fights, maybe on the unaired or on the fight nights that I didn't quite catch, but I'll be interested to see how they match up right here. I know that Matrix brings it, the Raw boys always do.
I can give you both a bit of insight before we go J-Dime right there. We got MBK Goat, currently 2-1 at 15th in the PlayStation division, versus Tim Colwyn, number 17th, who's undefeated at the moment, so trying to go, add another notch to his record, J-Dime.
Tim's undefeated?
Yeah.
Tim's on. Oh, I was about to say, I've never seen Tim fight, so this is his debut for me. This determines if he's gonna be Tim to me or Timothy. This determines who he's gonna be to me, Cyrus.
Look, out there on a slightly different note, I rate the Dodson pick and I rate the Barrow pick. These are, I like them a lot, man. Barrow's a fun character to use, using some of that Muay Thai. He's actually going to look to grapple here a little bit, which is surprising. But the main thing, Humble, is just the explosiveness from Dodson. If he's able to stay on the feet, the way that he can cover distance and just land very powerful shots for a little tiny guy, I mean, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, he knocked out TJ Dillashaw, you know, when he came out of the Ultimate Fighter. He's one of the early guys to kind of do that. He's had close fights with Mighty Mouse and pushed certain people to limits. He's super quick. He's super quick. You know, he's got that explosive power, and because he's so small, he's difficult to hit. He's got almost like Mighty Mouse sort of characteristics when he moves. Raw Matrix is a precious striker. We've seen him last season. I think he finished top 15 last season, so it tells you about the type of power and type of skill that guy's got. Fighting Tim Cole Winter at the moment, and undefeated fighter versus someone who's a veteran and kind of ranked as well, J-Time. It's going to be a great fight.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go back to talking about John Dodson. John Dodson, to me, I classify him as a bullet. I'm gonna tell y'all what that means. You know, when he's short, he's fast, he's strong, and he's small. Like, you know those small, he's a bullet. He's just a little powerful guy, Cyrus.
Yeah, he reminds me of one of those, like, balls. You chuck it against the wall and it will just never stop bouncing. He just has that sort of explosive energy that never seems to
he's
run
a
out.
bullet. He's just a bullet.
That's what he is. That's a good perspective. Right now, these guys, though, over the last kind of 3.5 minutes, they've been doing very, very well. It's been an even and closely contested bout for my money. I think Raw Matrix might actually be a little bit behind. I actually thought he was Dodson, sorry, for Barrow for a moment, but Barrow, I think, is a little bit ahead. I could be wrong, but
I'm not sure. One of these guys needs to kind of take it. You know, it is. Barrow's a legend as well. I honestly don't know who's winning this one because it's so close, Cyrus. But Barrow's a legend, and he needs to start using them kicks. Raw Matrix really needs to put the pressure on and start using the boxing style that he's used to.
These are some good shots from the inside. That knee is ever dangerous, though. That very kind of short stature.
Ooh.
Leads to his head being a little bit closer to the knee than I'm sure he would want, but Barrow is very dangerous with those and his elbows, so look for him to continue to set that up over the course of the next potential 10 minutes.
Who won that round?
Tim.
That's Hennon. That's Hennon Barrow's round, but John Dodson, like I said, is still dangerous because he's so fast and so powerful with the 4-star boxing, Humble.
Yeah, I don't know who won that round because it's obviously volume over power shots. Power shots were clearly in the favour of Renan Barrow, but the amount of shots were in the favour of John Dodson. John Dodson really needs to start doing some damage now, I believe, Cyrus. He really needs to start like hurting his opponent because looking at head health so far, he's a bit lower than Tim Cole Winter.
That knee just about misses. But no, you're absolutely right. And he's trying to turn it up. You can see it right here. Really trying to press the action in his Raw Matrix. But Tim really does seem calm and composed right now. Looking to pick his shots, work his shots, and then get in and out of range. But he does get caught, Jake!
John Dodson, that little bullet. He may get him out. Look at he's going crazy. He's a madman. He's a man possessed now.
Someone threw the ball and it is not stopped bouncing since he landed, Cyrus. He's going crazy right now.
He is, brother. He's trying to, like you said a little bit earlier on, take this fight. Some big pull counters. The small reach occasionally punishes John Dodson, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like fighting heavyweight with Andre Bishop. You kind of miss certain shots, but if you can get into like a little bit of a rhythm, J-Time, as you can see, you can do some real damage if he just keeps landing.
Yeah. He can't let John Dodson walk him down like that because John Dodson a second ago was looking like a man possessed, Cyrus.
He was, brother, he was, and he doesn't seem like he's planning on stopping that anytime soon. Although I will say that Tim was starting to land a couple of good shots, but every time he does, Raw Matrix continues to look for that pull counter, and he's just millimeters away, Humble. More often than not, he gets clipped himself!
Oh,
Henry. From Tim. He wants to remain undefeated. Remember, this is the guy going in with something to lose. Matrix has took this on short notice, and he's coming for a big spot. He can come in and fight number 15 guy and get that first win on your record. You're going to get some points, Jay.
Yeah, and I like it. Ooh. Oh my God, his undefeated streak may be over. It may be over.
It's over. Oh no, it's not.
It's not over. It's not over.
I'm not going to say that ever again, by the way. He will survive, and you know he's going to kind of have to right now, Cyrus. Oh my God.
Straight to top mount. Heavy ground and pound coming his way. Every shot getting through. Pulls him out. Raw Matrix. Digging deep there, Jay. Digging goddamn deep and getting the job done.
That's crazy. That's crazy. John Dodson just looked like a man possessed. Like, once he gets that one stun, he just starts going 100 miles per hour like a bullet, Humble.
Yeah, Matrix is like a steam train. Once he picks up some, so essentially steam, he won't stop, Cyrus. He just keeps going, keeps coming. The Juggernaut, I guess. Absolute beast.
Yeah, no, definitely, brother. Like I said, he's got that dog in him. He was behind for my money. Well, look at the statistics in that first round, 10-9 for Tim. And just to switch that up and kind of leave that first round, you know, where it was, not take it into the next one, use it as motivation rather than frustration. A beautiful, beautiful fight to kind of cap off that featured fight of the prelims. Moves us on very, very nicely to this main card. Guys, I mean, look, this is where the action continues to heat up, if it's even possible. B3 Gemini up against Luke Seville up next. But before we get into that one, Humble, like we said, every single one of these fights is an absolute killer. If you had to, brother, gun to the head, which one are you looking forward to the most?
You don't have to put a gun to my head. It's easy. It's Naz versus Trixie. Naz v Trixie, the former champion, the controversial TikTok sensation that is Naz. You know, so many people dislike that person for it's like that content creator for certain reasons or whatever it is. I find him entertaining. I find him interesting. He's fighting the prime time goat, in my opinion. What you've done in the past matters to me, Cyrus, and what BFAP Trixie's done is nothing short of sensational. That could have been a main event in itself, and then we've got the 2 title fights after that. I just cannot wait to get into the lobby of that fight. It's gonna be crazy.
100%. J-Dime, this next fight is actually ready and raring to go, brother. We have middleweight as the weight class. Robert Whittaker up against Robbie Lawler. This is the second time we've seen Robbie Lawler here this evening.
Robert Whittaker, Robbie Lawler. I'm not gonna lie, I respect Gemini for that Robbie Lawler pick. He a dog, but that's tough. You're going against the meta in middleweight, which is Robert Whittaker. You know, that's everyone's security blanket. You don't want to lose, get Robert Whittaker. Your grappler, get Robert Whittaker. Your striker, get Robert Whittaker, Cyrus.
Yeah, 100%, brother. 100%. I mean, look, it's hard not to pick him, but only one guy good, and those B3 boys like to break your block, go heavy punching, kind of characters, and let's be straight. Robbie Lawler isn't just looking to knock people out, he's looking to take souls, Humble, and with that type of power at his disposal, he can be a menacing force for anybody.
Exactly, he can be an absolute beast. And I have one saying in Primetime, J Diamond, that is, I don't feel sorry for anybody that lets their opponent pick Robert Whittaker, because you have the choice to ban Robert Whittaker. So why wouldn't you do that? If you didn't want him to pick him, you ban him. It's simple as that. We give you one ban, don't we, Cyrus? So if your opponent's got him, it's your fault essentially. And you know, Luke is going to be a beast with him. He's going to be tough, and that's what's going to be the first underlying factor in this fight.
Yeah, 100%, brother, 100%. Oh God!
Oh,
swing off head kick, trying to throw the overhand. Once again, exactly what we are used to seeing out of Gemini, pressing the action, closing that cage and getting his opponent up against the cage. But Luke Seville is landing some clean counter shots, Jay.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
shit.
Gemini starting to look good. Even though he has Robbie Lawler, Gemini with that pace pushing style is looking good, and he's breaking his block a little bit, Humble.
Yeah, nice work. He is looking good so far. You've got to be careful because Robert is good on the break. He's great with them straight shots, and you know, we're just starting to get warmed up. Both of these guys trying to find patterns at the moment, size to try to figure each other out.
Yeah, for certain, brother. And honestly, as they continue to try to make some reads, whose favor that will go in, I don't know. But Gemini eats that head kick.
Oh,
and the knee. Oh, nice work. Beautiful work there from Luke. Have you seen the Superman punch into the straight into the head kick? Breaks the block. ever so much, J Dime.
I know this is not going to be a chess match, fellas. This is going to be just in the phone booth barn burner, and I love fights like that, Cyrus.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that they would happily fight in a phone booth if they could. They do have a lot of cage to work with, and as you see, Gemini is trying to make that not feel like it's the case. Continues to cage cut, continues to try and walk his opponent into big head kicks, but Luke Seville is staying savvy out here, Humble, and for more money, landing the better shots.
Luke! Jesus, he drops him, and Luke Seville's trying to finish him, goes for the head kick. He needs to watch that stamina. If he gets that ducked as well, he's going to be in a dangerous position. He needs to really start to set up those combinations before they start becoming obvious, Cyrus.
Yeah, for certain, brother, for certain. It could be very difficult, though, because as we said, Robert Whittaker is the meta in this weight class for a reason. And as you get a little bit behind stamina and health-wise, it can become a little bit problematic. Another combination lands. Not able to get the finishing blows, though, Jay.
Yeah, and you said they have a lot of cage to work with. They don't need this cage. You only need about half of it because they're just brawling. They're just in the phone booth brawling right now, Humble.
Yeah, they are. They're trying to establish head kicks as well with the block. So low! Oh, he's jumping!
Up elbow.
Here we go. Oh, reversal. And is he going to get the posture up? 19 seconds left. Could be incredibly important. Nope, he does a good job defending, Cyrus. Good ground and pound defense right there from Gemini.
Yes, sir. You said they don't need that full cage. You are absolutely right, but the same can be said about any single one of those B3 boys. That's just the way they fight. They don't allow you to fight any other way. Bring in all of the action that he can to Luke Seville, but Luke actually able to land the bigger damaging shots and gets 2 stunts and a knockdown. That's not going to put off Gemini, Humble, but obviously you have to be a little bit cautious as you start to choose what exchanges you go into.
Yeah, you do. Definitely have to be. You have to hurt him quickly as well. You've got to. If I'm Gemini right now, I'm looking for him to try to catch him at the end of the 4th combo. He's thrown 4 pieces. He's thrown big shots, and if Luke's going to do that, you've got to really make him punish. You've got to expect that 4th shot, try and counter it, and really hurt him when his stamina's low, Jay.
Yeah, you said it perfectly. And Gemini is not going to stop ever pushing this pace. It don't matter how many times he gets dropped. He's a B3 boy. They are here to suffocate you and take away that space, Cyrus.
No, for sure, bro. Like, honestly, the progression that Gemini has made over a very short period of time. It was only like a year ago I was training with him. He was very, very kind of green to the entire game and striking as a whole. And he has become an absolute phenom out here now. As he gets another rock. That lead upper, he's gone for it every single time he's got him rocked. His opponent continues to try and slip one little change up, and he could be getting the finishing touches he so badly desires, Humble.
Yeah, it's good work. Like, you stay patient. You got to do this. You got to keep yourself kind of in the fight, not take too many risks, walk your opponent down, look for an opportunity. And when you get a chance to hurt your opponent, you've got to do some damage in that position. You can't just let him get away from scot-free.
Oh, it's over. It's over, guys.
Killed his confidence, Jedi.
No, it's not.
Started walking back, and Robert Whittaker looks in trouble.
He does, and them pull elbows are really powerful too. So now they're on an even playing field right now because Robert Whittaker has been down, and now he's using the grappling, which is smart, Cyrus.
It is, man. It's honestly needed when you're being pressured like that, but he gets reversed so easily. I was not expecting that one, Humble. Got the GA, clutched at it, and uses it to get back to his feet and go back to landing some of those hands that we have seen throughout the course of this fight.
The confidence of Rob Whittaker is wilted. He's struggling.
Oh, it's gone. His confidence shot.
Up. Oh,
it's shot.
Back.
It is shot. Great job,
Gemini.
Great job,
Gemini.
Great job.
Fantastic job. Thank you for all the work you do in Primetime as well, Gemini. We do appreciate doing a lot of work tonight while fighting, Cyrus, and we do appreciate that. He does a lot for the community. Fantastic competitor, fantastic staff member, great knockout for him. He's got to be on a high right now.
Oh, bro, like, and you got to think about this as well. He wasn't able to get warmed up for this, bro. He's currently doing, a lot in the back, doing the wrangling, getting everything sorted for the preparation of these fights. So he had to go into this one a little bit cold, and he didn't start out as quickly as he normally did, but he just continued to mount up pace, find his combinations, make it difficult for Luke Seville, who, quite honestly, was playing out of his socks, J-Dime. He was playing fantastically. There was a lot of pressure on him. He could have wilted under that very, very quickly, as many people do, but he found those counters looked great, and unfortunately, he just wasn't able to keep that going when that kind of storm really came to fruition with Gemini.
Yeah, when the momentum shifted to Gemini's favor, Robert Whitaker just folded. He just folded. Like, he didn't know what to do. He started panicking, and then Gemini just kept putting on until he finally got him out of there, Cyrus.
Yeah, but definitely, bro, definitely. It was two high-level competitors going at it, Humble. I look forward to seeing both of those in the cage in the very near future. Of course, Gemini going to be rising up those rankings very, very nicely after picking up another knockout victory. It does, however, move us on incredibly quickly to the next one, my man. One of the fights that we looked out for at the very beginning of the card, which is the one and only KM Caliber, the guy that was our short notice king last season, continued to turn up and take fights on a moment's notice, and he is going up against the ever dangerous EK's Capolotti. I mean, just beautiful, beautiful striking is going to be on display, but don't expect that just to be the case with Caliber, because of course he does like to mix in that grappling as well.
Yeah, definitely. Only one loss for Caliber this season. It was in the Grand Prix. You know that everybody but the champions got to lose in that one, as you know, Cyrus. But Capolotti at the moment undefeated in Primetime. He is ranked number 8 at the moment. Sorry, he's ranked number 11th at the moment, with Caliber ranked number 8th. So these two are fighting for position to put themselves right in that upper echelon of the Xbox division, and we know it's stacked. We know there's great competitors there.
We've it's been going a little while longer, and it's a little bit bigger. We have a little bit more of an active pool on the Xbox side, just by a little bit right now. The PlayStation boys have been really coming through with in force, but KM Caliber and Capolotti for that matter are actually guys that have been around for a very long time. They're very familiar with each other. They're very familiar with the community and the skills, you know, that are required to really compete under the pressure that these types of situations can cause. I actually think that, and I could be wrong on this, but I actually think that Capolotti was in KM for a little while as well. So I think that they were teammates for some time also, Jake.
Man, I don't know. I don't want to be wrong, because a lot of times I don't know what teams people are on. So this is going to be a great fight, though, between Dustin and Connor. I don't know, is this match number 4, number 5? They didn't fought so many times. Humble.
Yeah, these guys, you know, you haven't seen it much tonight. I don't think we might say once or twice, but we've seen it a lot because they are two of the best guys in the division, especially with the power.
That's
three times. Jesus. Yeah, a lot of the power, a lot of the work ethic comes from these two guys, and they're two of the best strikers in the division. Strikers kind of rule this esports community, Cyrus.
Yeah, definitely, brother, definitely. It's the more entertaining thing for the majority of people, of course, but having the grappling there is very, very important, because people, you know, at these higher levels, somebody like Caliber, if he can see that you cannot grapple with him, but you can strike with him in any way, shape, or form, he's going to take you down, bro. He's going to abuse you. So, and the same could be said about Capolotti and basically anybody else for that matter. So, important to be well diverse, but at the, you know, as they get higher and higher, it becomes harder to grapple them, and it's very, very kind of stamina consuming, Jay. And we see a lot of these guys then kind of stand here and try to duke it out on the feet whilst mixing in some of that grappling just to offset their opponent and kind of disturb their rhythm.
Yeah, and I just noticed they're fighting with no HUD. So so Caliber is Dustin Poirier.
Okay.
And Cap is Connor.
Right.
There we go.
Yeah, so the HUD does help for the community as well. Just so you know, again, the HUD does help us as well, just when we call fights, but it doesn't matter. We know Capolotti is currently just got back off his feet right there. He's against the fence right now, with Caliber trying to press him, really trying to change it up, as you mentioned earlier on, Cyrus. Maybe use some of that grappling that he's currently got. I love this position on the cage because not many people actually know about the hand fight and know what to do. So if Caliber can kind of utilize this, he might be able to get a bit of damage off, a bit of work there. That is permanent damage to the back of the leg right there, Cyrus. That doesn't come off over gradual time. That is immediate.
Oh my god!
Oh my, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. That's beautiful. That's all. That whole sequence was just art.
Damn, you could try and do that in training over and over and over again. It's going to take you 1,000 times to land a combination that sweet. Like, there's no way.
That was art.
It was within movement and dodging and everything. That was beautiful work right there from KM Caliber, Cyrus.
Yes, sir. Beautiful destruction at its finest. Just goddamn, when you think that guy can't pull out any more highlights, when he has some spectacular ones on his resume, but that was brutality, it was savagery, it was all of the above, and an absolute pleasure to behold, I can tell you that. I mean, we are setting some absolute pace for these fights here this evening. Throw it back to you, Humble. Up next, we're actually moving back to the PlayStation side of the equation. We're going to be having the sometimes controversial but ever dangerous competitor in Dino TT up against PK Diaz, who has recently come off a very, very good and close fight up against Smudger, the champion.
Yeah, 100%. And he had like you said, he had a fantastic fight against him. It's only loss this season is Smudger, and we got Dino TT currently ranked number 9, undefeated, sat there with a lot of these guys, just like we've seen, on the opposite side right there. Caliber sat there 2-0. Ranked number 8. Now we're seeing on the opposite side, in the PlayStation side, we're about to see Dino Gamer 2-0 sat there at number 9. So it's going to be interesting to see what these guys can do.
Yeah, basically all ranked positions, Jay, as we go into this, or obviously as we get into these stage now. So there's a lot to play for. As we've mentioned, the top 10, really the top 15 are our active kind of pool for competitors. Whoever hasn't challenged recently that's coming off some hot wins and obviously building a little bit of momentum. So Diaz needs to get himself back on that winning track. As Humble mentioned, was undefeated, and Dino Gamer not going to want to lose that O, bro. I know that guy is a gritty competitor. He never wants to lose, and especially if he's undefeated going into a season, that's going to give him an extra bit of motivation to really, really excel in his performances.
It should be a really good match, and dang, you had to call my boy Dino controversial when you was describing him?
Yeah, I'm sure. I may be confused, right, but I'm pretty sure some people have in the Discord. He had some haters early on. Am I wrong, Humble? Am I wrong?
No, you're completely right. He's got an issue because of obviously where he lives. He gets a lot of hate because of, you can see right there, 3, 4, 6. Doesn't move. The ping doesn't move. So usually, when you fight somebody from a different country, you can have problems.
I can defend his ping. I can defend it. Because I played against him, so I can
find absolutely no issues with me whatsoever. And sometimes people can use that against him because he lives so far away and you play him. But James Diamond and me are similar. Fine, it's weird.
Yeah, look, we've all had, like a friend in Australia or something like that has that sort of connection because they are so far away. But it, like you see right here, it is incredibly stable. I mean, this is better quality on the stream, in fact, than most a lot of people that you see even a lot closer to yourself. It does, of course, have a slight adjustment that you need to get used to.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that does, Jay.
Yeah. There's not. I'm gonna be real. When it comes to this ping, it's not gonna lag. It's gonna be a delay because one's in Brazil and one's in New Zealand. Mm-hmm. But it's not gonna lag though, Humble.
It's crazy. We got competitors from all. It just speaks to the depth and the volume of Primetime and the exclusivity of it. We've got it from all around the world. People come from absolutely everywhere. 1,300 competitors in our Discord. Nearly 150 people competing actively right now in each league. It is crazy and probably top 50, top 60 of the best in the world of every division. It's crazy, Cyrus, where these guys do, and this is why we do it competitively against everybody. You want to find out who the best is.
Yeah, exactly right. And these guys fighting for themselves, and in some cases fighting for the to be the first champ from their nation. Of course, we almost had our first Brazilian champ very recently, but Smudger was able to reign supreme. These guys, like I said, live far apart, but it's about having a stable connection, right? Of course, we don't just allow anybody with any type of connection to compete. If you have an unstable internet connection, then of course we'll call those fights off and the like. But as you can see right here, very, very stable, and it doesn't seem to be, at least from our money, impacting the fight at all, Jay. They're staying very active, trying to press each other in a lot of grappling exchanges right now, but I don't know how long that's going to stay there, bro, because I feel like they're probably going to want to try and get back to the feet and rain some bombs, at least, if you're Diaz.
Yeah, but I think Dino, it's kind of backwards with Charles and Dustin, but Dino's the one who wants to be on the ground right now.
Yeah, definitely. They're doing a good job so far. Oh, nice work right now. But Dino is usually the one who wants to go to the ground. And what I was going to say is as well, do we know many New Zealand and Brazilian competitors? These guys are kind of leading their esports communities, kind of representing the countries out here at the top of the world, Cyrus. I don't know many people from both of these countries.
Oh, nice knee, Charles.
Oh, for sure, brother.
Supposed to do it.
Oh my God, that was not the time to shoot for a single leg.
Oh. That's the wrong time to shoot.
I know Gamer decided he was going to try to get a bit of an advantage to see. Maybe he's seen something on the ground. He's felt it a bit. Sometimes he likes to grapple. So 45 seconds left. Also, going for a submission right there puts points on the board as well, J9.
Yeah, it does. And sometimes that's what it's all about. Sometimes you have to. He may have thought he won this round. He did. But it's just making sure. That adds just to make sure I won this round, Cyrus.
Yeah, and once again, you get some reads off it. I will say that Diaz may be starting to have a little bit of hesitation, a little bit of frustration. I feel like I'm starting to see, and I think it was a good idea for him not to press it right there. Take that, basically, you've lost that round, right? You just need to go into the next one, recuperate in between rounds, get some corner advice, and then try to change the momentum of that battle, Humble. They showed, in moments, they were both very dangerous, but quite clearly, Dino Gamer's come with a game plan here this evening that is somewhat muting the offense of Diaz, which is typically not the case. So he needs to do whatever he needs to right now to reset and get back to his winning ways, try and change that momentum.
Exactly that, and Charles has got that ability, but it's sometimes difficult. I always find Charles slightly this flat-footed, but you are completely correct. He needs to do something. He needs to kind of mix it up or get some damage to shots. Maybe just to try and win the round. You want to be in it. Go to the next one, Jay.
Yeah, you said it right too. And what adjustment do you think Charles need to make going into this round?
But quite honestly, maybe a little bit kind of leaning towards it just because of play undisputed. But I just feel like he needs to box, bro. That's all it is. Boxing, box straight, kind of keep the kicks to a minimum. Try to defend the takedowns, of course. Be a lot easier to do when you're only throwing punches. Does get a nice deny right there, Humble. Trying to throw a couple punches and puts him on his ass for a couple of moments, which, if nothing else, attacks the stamina quite nicely.
Yeah, nice work right there. Manages to get to side control. It's not so much the kicks. It's when he's throwing the kicks. He's throwing the kicks moving backwards as Dino Gamer's kind of pressing forward. When you throw the kicks going backwards, what you tend to do is not have a lot of power on them, and you let your opponent close the distance when you land because they get that extra step forward. So he needs to make Poirier go backwards if he's going to throw those kicks. He can't be throwing them when he's walking into the pocket. It doesn't work. You put yourself in a bad position.
Yeah, it also gives your opponent higher GA to shoot in for that takedown. You can see that obviously Dino is doing exactly that. Anytime he gets a kick within his range, he is blocking or returning it with a takedown, and more often than not, he's able to secure it. And then he goes back to the well working some some ground and pound. I mean, it's a pretty relentless force, and I imagine could be fairly frustrating, due to kind of that stuck on you sort of way that Dino plays. He's just all over you, Jay.
Yeah, he is, and it's so crazy that if this fight happened in real life, we would not think Dustin's the one initiating the grappling. He would be the one.
Oh,
whoa.
100 submission, and this is
100 submission.
What the hell?
He's getting out of this. I can't lie, he's getting out of this.
Bro, he was tracking pretty well there as well.
He was tracking it. He's right over it. I don't understand how he could be more over the bar.
Yeah, that was that was a bit sus, but hey, there's stranger things happening in the game.
Never had that happen. Like right over it, tracking it perfectly. Well, what the hell am I gonna do?
Through my eyes.
Well, nothing happened.
Gets the reversal now though. Diaz seems to be feeling himself, seems to be settled and looking to work his own game. But my God, the reversal, Humble, just so clean.
He's so difficult to deal with. That one thing I've watched Dino fight a few times, and one thing I've always kept in mind when watching him is it feels a bit like Dirty Dave. Like he's difficult to deal with. He will not stand with you all the time like most people will. Some people stand full rounds with you. He's going to grapple you at one point. You've just got to kind of pick that, find out when. It doesn't matter who you got. Clearly, 100 submission offense, and he doesn't give a crap, even if he's got a stamina load down.
Yeah, you can tell he had no fear for Charles Oliveira's submission. Like no fear at all. You can tell he's just confidently grappling against him, Cyrus.
Yeah, for sure. We just saw round one there. Of course, that was round two statistically. We didn't get to see round two stats. I would say that Dino Gamer probably ahead at this stage in the fight. Of course, we've seen stranger things, but they are still very, very much in this fight. They're pretty clean in terms of damage and stamina. So anybody's game to play for, Humble, as they continue to try and mix up on the feet now, which I think is really where the money's at if they do want to get a finish.
He just didn't hear the corner right there, but Oliveira's corner was screaming at him in Brazilian and kill him, go forward.
You
but
said
it looks
in
like
Portuguese?
yeah, 100% kill him.
Oh
Vamos here.
In
They were saying
Brazilian.
over and over again, J-Dime. And he's responded to that, but Dino Gamer is not having any of it. He's trying to take him straight back to the mat and control him.
Cyrus, did you hear him say they were screaming in Brillian?
Yeah,
He didn't say it in Portuguese.
Portuguese.
Yeah,
Shit! I didn't even know this mistake.
I was going to let it slide by, but Jay's going to...
I didn't even realize I was in the moment.
But once again, goes for the submission, decides to bail on it, though, intelligently so. The defense quite clearly was on point and allows him to retain the position. There's 3 minutes 25 left on the clock, Humble. As you can see, Charlie Olive's trying to work his way back to the feet, but Dino Gamer currently swarming him and making it very difficult to do so.
Yeah, he's doing a good job of smothering his opponent. He hasn't took too much damage. He's one of them fighters. He's a non-risk fighter. Like, he likes to take zero risk, try and win the fight that way. And best type of sort of fighters J-Dime with this game. I am a very vulnerable fighter and I get knocked out a lot because I take a lot of risks. I like to try and be entertaining, and Dino Gamer's having none of that tonight.
Oh, he just wants to get the job done. He don't care about entertaining you, Humble. He wants to win at all costs.
Well, we said,
So he won't take no spinning. You know what I'm saying?
Jay, we said it at the beginning, right? Dino Gamer right now undefeated, and that's an extra level of motivation for a guy that has such a competitive nature. He's coming into this one making sure that that O stays there, bro. That he continues to rack up wins in the right side of the column, and he's doing a good job so far of swarming the former contender.
Great job. And it looks like if he don't do anything, he may cruise to a victory.
Yeah, he's got 1 minute 30 seconds to get back to his feet. Try land some damaging blows, some fight-ending blows. Otherwise, this fight is going to be a wrap, and he's going to kind of feel like he didn't put it all out there. There's nothing worse in a fight when you don't have. If you win in a fight, Cyrus, at one point in the fight, sometimes you can lose it and say, "All right, I was winning at one point. I need to work on some stuff." When you get outclassed like this, it's rough.
For sure, bro. Does get back to the feet now. 50 seconds left on the clock. All to play for. Once again, Dustin Poirier, I believe, got a rock early on in this round. He's going to be coasting to a victory if he's able to just avoid some of the damage. And it's hard to hit the guy that doesn't want to be hit, man. If he just wants to backpedal, he can. A lot of space in that cage, Jay.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Charles has put his foot on his gas pedal. He has to throw caution to the wind right now, Humble.
He's got to do something, though. The worst he's going to do is get knocked out. He's already going to lose the fight, so he's got to try and do something. It looks like Dino Gamer is going to get the win, though, pick up that win, a decision win. I thought it was a good performance from him. Like I said, he reminds me of Dirty Dave, Cyrus. I don't know if you get any similarities there, but he reminds me of that sort of context, the way he kind of fights and the way he kind of controls his opponents, no matter what, try and make it frustrating as he possibly can.
Yeah, 100%. 100%, brother. That's exactly what I would say is, there's a certain kind of style that some grapplers have, which is a relentless marauding ones. You have your submission guys, you have your kind of anti-grapplers. Some people like to take their opponents down, like to minimize the amount of, risk, like you said, that comes their way, and they get their enjoyment from getting their victories one after another, slowly accumulating them over time. Once again, Dino Gamer able to do just that here this evening, J-Dime. I'm sure that your boy's going to be happy to remain undefeated going into this season.
Yes, sir. 27-30. And it was a really good match, but Dino dominated the grappling exchanges. He dictated where the fight was fought at, and Charles didn't have a counter for that.
100%. Great performance. Dino Gamer again. Moving 3-0, pushing that position from number 9, going into the rankings, and he's going to be wanting a big fight next. Maybe higher in the card. Maybe he gets his own sort of feature card in a fight night out. Who knows? We'll see what goes on there. But next up this evening, we do have the fight I was talking about earlier on, Cyrus. Yeah. It is Naz versus Trixie. It is my most anticipated. We've got 2 title fights later on, but this is my most anticipated fight. It is only 3 rounds at the welterweight division. Tell us a bit about this one, Cyrus.
Well, these 2 competitors currently standing across from each other, 3-3, as you were about to see. Going into this one, like I said, that doesn't always fully entail the way that the competitive styles go, but Naz is an absolute sensation that has risen very, very quickly in Primetime MMA. Got a little bit of a lucky opportunity in the Grand Prix, but grasped at it with both hands. That's actually where he beat Trixie earlier on in the season, and genuinely has been looking and styling on a lot of people. Recently lost his belt up against EK Donner in the last time round, and of course now wants to return to winning ways and get himself back into the picture of winning that championship. But as you said earlier, and as you well know as well, J-Dime, Swift Trixie, BFAP Trixie, he has been around the scene for a very long time, an eternal champion. Whether or not he has that belt, this guy brings all of the right tools to the octagon and has the mentality to go along with it. He's a dangerous opponent, and these guys being such high-level competitors and only having 3 rounds to get that job done, I think it just even ups the ante to what they're going to bring to the table, because they know now that they don't have to pace themselves out. They can press that action early.
Yeah, and they're 3-3 against each other. We didn't bring that up. Like, this is the tiebreaker, and you know Trixie is the GOAT of primetime, and now he has to avenge his loss against Nas. So this should be a great fight, Humble.
Yeah, it should be. We've still got the bets open for another 37 seconds. You can still get your... Oh, and Naz has got 40,000 on him.
40K?
40,000 on him over Trixie. Trixie got about 9,000 at the moment, so Naz 41 favourites according to the betting public. It is, if you do want to bet as well, use your channel points in there. There is a couple of seconds left, you can still get that in. But it's a great fight. These two, Leon Edwards versus Usman, as you probably both mentioned, you know, the skill set of these guys, and they're going to have a rematch in the future. Naz going with the more power, the jab, the 5-star jab, the 5-star straight, Cyrus, going to be effective in this one.
Well, I know this is not really what you saw there, but I have to say, these guys have already caught each other with such big damage. They've gone to the body and eaten a couple of knees. Now, Swift Trixie gets a rock and spears his opponent to the mat, J-Dime. This guy's been a phenom on the feet for a long time, but people forget that this guy can grapple, man.
Axe, you're not telling a lie. And you know what's crazy? How many times is Trixie going to be an underdog? Like, he's actually an underdog for this. That's a rare occasion. So if he were to win, someone's winning a lot of money, Humble.
Yeah, exactly. An underdog, like, it is crazy. He's the primetime GOAT, and that's the sort of the sort of what you get with Naz because of his attitude, because of the way he talks, because he's the content creator, and he's also been champion. He's more relevant at the moment in his head and to all his fans than Trixie, and that's where that support comes from. This will only benefit both guys, though. You know, it's a great fight between both, and Naz at the moment, he's really trying to press the action, but Trixie being Trixie, doing great so far, Cyrus, and looking really sharp.
Yeah, early advantage definitely to Swift Trixie. Naz not being demoralized by that, and continues to try and press the action. Of course, Kamaru Usman is a fantastic pick. I would imagine that he's going to look to work his own grappling if he gets the opportunity, but has to be wary from playing behind here now. Like I said, this is only 3 rounds, and you don't want to give away too many mistakes trying to press too much of the action and get back that way. Lovely defense.
Good defense. This is high-level fighting.
Oh god damn, what a combination, and timed very nicely from Naz. Once again, dangerous in all positions are these opponents here, Humble. You can see the head health always within that death range.
Yeah, definitely, and we have to talk about it as well. These guys fought in the Grand Prix about a month ago. You know, when we do a Grand Prix at the end of every season. Oh, Naz is done. Trixie's got him hurt. Naz is trying to get away from that. He's still alive, but he's got to be careful. Great round there for Trixie, in my opinion. But I was about to say, these guys fought in the Primetime Grand Prix, which we do at the end of every season. Obviously, Naz got into that. There was a lot of controversy where that all happened, but Naz and him fought, and Naz ended up beating Trixie in that. And the way he did that was a lot of leg kicks and jabs. He was using really good leg kicks and jabs in that fight, Tyrus. But with Usman, the leg kicks aren't quite there, so he's got to rely on them jabs a lot, which Trixie's got a lot of good head movement for.
Oh, yeah, for sure, buddy, for sure. I mean, look, it was surprising that people are underestimating Trixie maybe going into this one, or at least that's what the betting line suggests. Maybe the most accomplished competitor in the community, but he is now getting clipped, and by the previous champion, Naz, looking to turn it around.
Arms are sweaty watching this right now, because think about what's going through their head. Somebody may be panicking right now because they don't want to lose this, because both of them think they're the best in primetime, Humble.
Yeah, the egos on these two is high. It's for a good reason. They've both been ESFL champions. They've both been Primetime champions, and they've both been the top of the pillars for as long as they've been competing in the esports community. And that's why when it comes to a head in Primetime, the Coco main event, Trixie fights Naz, and this is what we get, Cyrus. Maybe a possible finish from the Primetime GOAT.
Oh, this may be.
Naz, my God, defense, bro.
Wow. Not by the hairs of my chinny chin chin. Naz moves his head to the side, gets away with it, and he's still in the fight. He needs to find a way. We've seen this before, Cyrus. We've seen him do this to Pabst in the first fight, potentially needed it in the second fight, and that's what he's good at. He's good at coming back later on. You know, Trixie's good at it as well, though, so it's a tough one.
Yeah, the thing I love about these competitors is that they take it, all competitors incredibly seriously, but especially when you've got as many accolades as both of these guys do. You know that it's on, bro. You know that you're fighting for your life, for your honor, for that extra victory, and of course to get back into the championship position. But oh my God, he's done it again. Gets the rock.
Looking for the uppercut, and Trixie starting to pour it on him. The pressure's coming. Naz is not quite finding the ratio time, and it's starting to heat up here in the second round.
Not gonna lie, I'm getting scared watching this. I don't know if he can survive this anymore.
Oh, God.
Nice knee.
There's no pull elbow as well. Trixie's done a great job of attacking the stamina. He's not only got the damage, he's got the stamina advantage. It's going to be difficult for Naz to come into this one.
We say he's the primetime champ, but genuinely, as I was about to say earlier before the big rock, he may be the most kind of accoladed fighter of all kind of UFC 4 competition. So many titles to his championships. He's won a lot of tournaments and the like, and he's showing why he's so good here, humble, just picking his shots beautifully. Naz is a savvy veteran. He's going to look to try and change it around, but it's a tough battle right now for him. Tough battle, uphill battle.
100%. Trixie's like the John Jones.
Oh, he gets it!
Oh, my days, Naz! Dodges, elbow! What a fight we have! 19 seconds left.
This is
Naz
crazy.
nearly upset. That's what I mean. You can't count Naz out. As it goes on, I do believe that stamina goes down much lower. It's going to be difficult for Naz to kind of win this fight. But if he gets another moment like that, who knows? You know, who knows, Jaydan?
This is crazy because right now Trixie is dominating, but Naz is still having his moments where he's still dangerous. But Trixie looks like he's in the zone. He's in his bag right now, Cyrus.
Yeah, entered the Matrix, bro, in full flow state, doing the damn thing. But Naz continues to show why he's so dangerous, why he is so highly regarded, and finds himself towards the top end of the rankings. But I know Naz, bro, he isn't gonna want to go, two losses in a row. Lost his championship. He's gonna want to get back into winning ways. This is as tough of a test as you could possibly get, standing across from you with Swift Trixie, and he's having such a problem with it. But he remains committed. He doesn't seem to be getting frustrated by a humble, which is actually good to see. Although he is having the same difficulties, as it gets harder and harder as they go on. He is doing the right things to be defensive. I just feel like Trixie is in full flow state.
Oh my dear, Trixie looks on his game. He looks. I like to call it shit hot. Essentially, shit hot. He looks shit hot right at the moment. He's very difficult to kind of get anything on him. And when Naz did get something on him, Trixie was again on point with his head movement and doing fantastic. You've got to think right now what's going through Naz's head as he lays on his back, and what's his game plan, what's his thinking process, how is he going to try and accumulate to try and win this fight, because Trixie's in control right now.
Naz needs a knockout. We're going to be real here. He needs a finish
I agree.
to win this fight. He has had a few moments, but he's getting dominated right now. This is Trixie's fight, and it looks like Trixie is really motivated by this fight because he's in a flow right now, Cyrus.
Yeah, and he did an intelligent thing right there, getting to the kind of offside position, pulling him back into side control so he can continue to keep him on the ground for a little bit longer. He knows he's ahead, bro. If he can just survive the next 2 minutes 20, he's got it in the bag, but Trixie not happy with just a decision, or so it would appear. Mr. Humbleding, he gets it back to the feet and is looking to maybe set up that final finishing touch that he has been looking for.
Yeah, we've said a lot in this fight, but we just want to say while everyone's here supporting this one.
Oh my God,
Trixie!
Oh my!
Oh,
it's over. It's over. It is.
Him.
Bro, he hit him so hard, the screen broke for a moment. The combinations.
Dang.
That's it. He's a glitch in the Matrix, is Swift Trixie, bro. That guy is... He's a savage, bro. He is a savage.
Trixie
Made the connection just go out.
Twitch.
That's how hard he punched him.
Twitch couldn't handle those combinations and decided to cut them. They were too violent, too much. You know, they come with a warnery sense, little sticker, Cyrus. You know, you've got to be at a certain age to watch that sort of violence. Trixie right there. But I just want to say to everybody in the chat who's come by to watch these fights tonight, thank you so much. Our Primetime community is evergreen. If you do want to support Primetime, you can hit that host button as we go into our title fights this evening, or you can just hit that follow button to make sure you come with us, or join our competition. We have Discord right there you can join on, but we're getting to the 2 title fights right now, Cyrus. We've got EK Donner, who beat Naz last week. He is undefeated this run this season, and he's also fighting another undefeated fighter that's got a bit of bad blood to it. Keza 4-0 versus EK Donner, the Primetime Xbox champion. How is this one going to go down, Cyrus?
Yes, sir. Somebody's O has got to go. EK Donner, current reigning champion on the Xbox division, doing fucking work this season, man. I mean, like I said, he had a lot of doubters going into that Naz fight, but he turned up, he backed himself, pushed all in and came up trumps. A lot of trash talk. You are absolutely right, Humble. Going into this one, FSD Keza believes that he's one of the best on the scene. Period. He believes that he is now going to, kind of showcase those full array of cases. He has got big wins over some very big names, and this is his opportunity. But I will say, Jay, that Keza and a couple of his guys have been talking about a blueprint server for a long time, that they have the blueprints on different fighters, and they believe that they have the blueprint on every EK fighter that there is, including Donner. And they've said that he hasn't got a chance, bro, and that's a lot of trash to be talking up against it. The current champion? You want to go at the champion that way? That's pretty
He don't
mad.
have a chance.
That's what they said.
But he said he has a scouting report. They did their studying, so they're here to neutralize everything he might bring to the table. But with that being said, Donner just had a performance of a lifetime last week, so I got to see how he's riding this momentum, Humble.
That's sort of kind of like as well. We used to do stuff like that as well, but it's so good to have sort of tendencies of fighters. But as you know, Cyrus, as a competitor, you change it up over time. You might have a scouting report one week, but you do one every week, because sometimes the fighters like to adapt, change things. They work with different people. We look at Trixie working with B3 and all these guys, and he changed his game slightly as well. So you don't know. It could be a scouting report for nothing, essentially.
Look, everybody has a game plan until they get punched in the motherfucking face, Humble, and that's seemingly maybe the case in more fights than not when it comes up against EK Donner. Like I said, this guy is often doubted. Keza did say that he has the best Makachev in the game, J-Dime, and he's going to have to showcase that. Wasn't able to get his first takedown, but goes for the second here, and is able to secure it. The champ now on the mat early in this first round.
That's crazy. He said he has the best, because that's a bold statement. There's a lot of Islams, and Islam just got updated to 5 stars. So now, I don't know, Cyrus.
Bro, this is not where you want to be early with Conor McGregor for sure. If you're the champion, especially because you know Keza, Humble, as you're seeing, I was just about to say, he's just going to whip that body, bro. He's going to attack that stamina. He knows that the longer this fight goes, the better he's going to do.
Exactly, it's a 5-round fight. Got Islam Makhachev versus Conor McGregor, and there's a history between these two in real life. There's almost history that's coming through, bleeding through the esports scene between these two competitors. And what you want to do when you've got a guy that you don't like and you've got him on the ground is you want to make him rage, you want to make him throw his controller, you want to make him suffocate, you want to make him feel like he's got no hope to win this fight, almost give up, put the controller down. That's what you want, and that's exactly what Keza's trying to do. He's trying to make his opponent verbally tap, Cyrus.
Being put in a position like this.
He's in a horrible. Oh my.
Lovely stuff. There it is. I was going to say, you is never going to get out from a transition right there. That was always going to be Keza's denials, but he gets the kind of catch, the arm trap catch, as he's trying to throw the combination and gets himself back into side control. But as I have said in the past, he is not out of the woods yet here, Humble. He is fighting uphill as he once again gets put in this horrendous position.
You can't be put in this position many times, though. You can't. Just eventually it's going to break. Your opponent's going to start guessing your transitions. He blocks one right there, and this is really bad because he's got half his stamina. He's eating transitions. He's starting to panic, and Islam Makhachev is going to start unloading the elbows. Conor, there's blood pissing out of his face right now, J-Dime.
This is dominant right now. I'm not gonna lie. Conor has to make it to the bell.
Oh,
and he has to make. Oh my, he may not make it to the belt. I'm going to be real with y'all, Cyrus. He may not.
He looks to stabilize out this position.
Oh,
Keza. Honestly, Keza's a guy that he's happy to torture his opponents in this cage, I'll be honest with you. He doesn't mind. He may even just deliberately take this into the next round, even if he had the opportunity to get the finish. He is that type of guy, bro. He does like to punish his opponents. He wants to win the... Look, when you fight against somebody like Keza, Humble, he's not looking to just beat you in this fight. He's looking to beat you in every fight that you have with him going forward from there. He wants to leave a mental impression of what he brings to the table.
There we go.
But every round starts standing, my man.
Let's go. Donna looks ready. He needs to be careful because now he's fighting emotional J Dam. He's starting to come out, throw combinations. He threw a fake glove to try to throw Keza off. Keza was wise to it, and he gets the hip toss back onto the ground. And like you said, the torture begins now.
Yeah, he's been getting tortured since the match started, basically. He's been getting tortured, and yeah, this is looking bad, right? He's been in survival mode, so if he does get to defeat, this is what I think he's going to do. He's going to throw a bunch of punches, like, just to try to get it back, Cyrus.
Yeah, like, quite honestly, there was a minute 30 of good work at the beginning of the first round from EK Donna, the current champion. He was able to land some hands, able to defend a takedown, but as soon as it hit the mat the first time, as I think that you said going into this round, there's a little bit of emotions coming into play, and the current champion, Donna, is having a world of trouble on
stop the fight.
This is. Hey, stop this fight. I'm serious. Stop this fight.
If he takes a few more shots, I'm happy for the ref to just jump across, like save his face. Conor McGregor is a dude that needs to fight again. He needs to see his kids. Islam Makhachev is trying to end this man for good. He's trying to give him one eyebrow. He's trying to end this man. He's trying to prove a gape into his side of his head, Cyrus. Those elbows are sharp. He's going to put a hole in his head.
He has.
This is the better of two evils. All right, let it go. He's evil. This man is awful. This man is.
No, he's trying to torture him. Yeah, he's trying to prove a point. He could end this. He just wants to torture him, Cyrus.
Oh my days.
He is doing so far, but of course, do not play with your food. He needs to continue to maintain this damage, put his opponent in a point of no return. Obviously, Donna not giving up. It's getting there. It's getting there, brother.
I might jump in that cage myself very soon.
I'm throwing the towel.
This is rough because now he's starting to work the body. He's starting to go every way he can. I really want Donna to kind of have some sort of momentum and come back, but this is looking bleak. He's not being able.
Okay.
Y'all doubted the champion. You doubted the champion, guys. He's
I'm not doubting him. I'm just saying it was looking real bad a second ago, is what I'm saying.
Bro,
I'm saying it was looking like no hope.
A little bit of devil's advocate. No. Quite genuinely, he is the champ for a reason. He may have got a bit frustrated, but he seems to have composed himself and is landing some good ground and pound of his own right now. Definitely still largely behind in this fight, but that's going to be at least confidence building going into this third round if they make it there.
Oh, nice time. Okay, Connor.
Blinking head health.
Somebody got rocked.
What's up?
Connor with the rock. Okay, this is Connor is coming back like Chad Mendez versus Connor. This is not over. You may have grappled me, but Connor said it is not over.
Nice work from Keza. You rocked him, and the momentum might be ending with McGregor, but the overall damage, the amount of work that Islam Makhachev put in there, he absolutely dominated that round until the last minute, and that's why you don't count anybody out, including the champion, who you've absolutely shred to pieces on the floor like a cutting board. Cyrus, he's just been getting elbowed.
Yeah, for sure. He went
clean.
For that. Yeah, but like I said, when it comes to Donna, right, I think that he knew that there was going to be trouble for him on the mat. I think he knew that. Okay, he was defending the takedown early. He did a great job of when it got back, obviously to the feet, trying to work his game, and this is exactly what he's going to want to do here. Obviously, like I said, the reversal is going to be big in terms of his confidence, but the stamina's not great, his head health isn't great, so everything needs to be absolutely on point. Cannot exchange with anything. Ball counters just like that, Jay.
Nice.
It's not over. He may get a moment. He needs another moment so he could take this round because he may have stole the last round somehow.
Yeah, he needs clean counter-striking. That is a clean counter-strike, but not for Conor McGregor. Okay. That is for the new Primetime champion, taking away Cyrus.
And new, brother. Dang. And new FSD's very own Keza. I mean, this guy is He's been a problem
Dominant.
for a long time. He's been a problem for a long time, Jay. And when he's motivated, like he quite clearly was here this evening, he can be a problem for absolutely anybody. That ground game is, I mean, look, it's problematic. I mean, what can you say when you get down into that position? You give him something like a side control. Your night is becoming a very long one. In short order, and he's going to make you pay for every single second that you remain on the mat with him.
That was dominant. That's the only word we can use for that. Dominant.
Yeah, 100%. And he's going to be a new champion at 5. Now he's undefeated. We also, in my opinion, we've 100% got his next opponent, because there's no way you can keep stopping this man from fighting for a title. You know, B-Fat Trixie, who beat Naz tonight, the former champion, was sitting knocking at the door anyway at number 3, and that's going to propel him possibly to the number 1 competitor for that championship against Keza. So we might be seeing that in the future, and what a matchup that is, Cyrus.
Oh, 100 freaking %, my man. And if I'm actually remembering
then back and forth, yeah, back and forth.
They've been in that position in the past as well. But my guys, that moves us on beautifully to the main event of this evening. We were talking a little bit earlier on about B-Fab Trixie potentially being pound for pound GOAT within Primetime MMA, but we actually do have an up-to-date pound for pound rankings, and as of right now, the one and only NM Smudger is the current pound-for-pound champion of Primetime MMA, and he is doing it by some ways, J-Dime. Currently undefeated, came in as the champion from last season, defended every single step of the way, and has not stopped up his momentum, has had some tough outings along the way, but now he is coming up against a very, very tough opponent. The one and only STK Lewis. I believe this man is undefeated. We will get that confirmed in the background. It's going to be Kamaru Usman up against Leon Edwards. Second time we see it here this evening. But these guys being such the well-rounded competitors that they are, being so game, and of course fighting with all of the odds at stake here at this PlayStation Championship main event. I expect fireworks, brother.
So here's the thing. Since Smudger got that belt, he's been dominant. He's had some tough fights, but Smudger has looked unstoppable, Cyrus.
Yeah, look, don't get me wrong. Diaz actually made him look human in that last fight. He
did.
He made him look human, right? But like
He did.
he was basically kind of just outclassing a lot of his opponents, just showing variations to his styles as well. There, Humble. He was like some fights he was working off that back foot, working the counter game. Sometimes he'd be pressing people. Sometimes more grappling heavy. Obviously in this one, as you see, he's picking Kamaru Usman, so maybe he has to adopt a bit more of a grappling approach up against somebody like Lewis, who is, like I said, been rising very quickly, and he's undefeated. He's getting his opponents out there quickly. He earned this shot, and you've got to be careful of those young lions coming to, take that throne.
Yeah, 100%. And both of these guys are undefeated this season. You've got Smudger currently sitting at 6-0. And he's been in this position many times against another undefeated fighter who's 3-0. You know, you fight a lot of guys. STK Lewis got a fantastic win his last fight, as I will remember, against one of his teammates. And he looked so composed. He wasted barely any effort. And he did really well going into the later stages of the round. Now, he's going to be fighting one of the best competitors, not only in prime time, but in the world. Number 1 on occasions in the PlayStation times. Top competitor in ESFL, a fantastic team in those, and he's doing really well. He's hitting all the boxes at the moment, Smudger. He's not feeling anything.
No, definitely. He has been an absolute breakout star across the community as of recently, and his all-round mixed martial arts game is going to be looked to be fully displayed here this evening as he secures one of his first takedowns in Primetime's history, J-Dime, although he doesn't decide to keep it there. Back to the feet and looking to work some hands, it seems.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get on top of him, but he just let him up. I guess he's seen something he like on the feet, Humble.
Yeah, and sometimes you see that, you think, okay, I'm liking this position at the moment, I'm liking what I'm getting, I'm going to try and keep it here. Maybe you have a game plan you want to stick to. And that's exactly what he's trying to do right now. Just remembering that Smudger's obviously with the Usman on the right at the moment, even though they switch positions, and Edwards getting taken down. No, he blocks that, gets a nice work, gets the underhook and gets the turn against the cage. Knee in the middle, really important there, J-Dime.
That was a nice takedown defense. And right now, Leon has a stamina advantage too. So that may help going to the second round, even though we are early in this round, Cyrus.
Yeah, we are very, very early, but definitely as the fight goes on, of course, that stamina is going to be coming more and more into play. But Smudger is setting a pace, and he gets another takedown. 2 minutes left in this round. And just to kind of throw this out there, he may be burning more stamina right now, but because he's not really taking damage, Humble, correct me if I'm wrong, that sort of recovery that Kamaru has means he's basically going to be back to full and even going into that next round.
Yeah, definitely, you're right. He's going to go back into that next round. He's going to have barely any damage. There's still 2 minutes left, though. Still 2 minutes left, and we don't know how that's going to affect him, but you are right on that.
Right now in a very dominant position, though. Side control, which we saw in the last fight, is a terrible position to be in. Wasn't there for very long, though. Over into sprawl, and back to his feet is Leon Edwards, potentially working his body a couple of times.
Nice.
2 big shots off right there. You get a few of them around, and you know they can take a real effect, along with the other damage you're doing. I'm really looking for Edwards to kind of land some kicks as Usman's moving backwards. Very careful against Smudger. Picks his shots so well.
He does.
Way to get out of there.
It's always so impressive the way that Smudger just kind of forces his opponents into engagements that are not going to favour them. He's continually forcing engagements which are favourable to him, and he just has a real knack for it. It's difficult to deal with, bro. It's quite clearly his opponents get mesmerised about the types of shots that are coming his way and the mix-ups that he continues to throw into the metal.
1-0 for the champion, fellas. That was a good round, though, but that's 1-0 for Kamaru Usman, Humble.
Back to work as usual for Smudger. He does not let off. It's like he never left. During that holiday, Cyrus came back and continued where he left off, and Smudger is just consistent. He's consistent with everything he does. One thing you've got to remember, that fight was incredibly close until it wasn't. And it happens with every one of Smudger's fights. Every one of his fights, he's kind of close, and then all of a sudden he does a lot of damage in a small period of time, and that round's gone to him, and then it just builds up as the fight goes on. That's what he does. So expect him to look for 2 or 3 of those moments in this round.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he has a knack for securing victories one way or another. I will say, though, Lewis is actually doing very, very well. That last round was actually pretty close, all things considered, and he's looking pretty fresh coming into the second one, and I actually feel like he's making the right choices as he is recognizing the stamina advantage he has, Jay, and continues to work the body with picture-perfect shots.
Woke up.
Yeah, and he's fighting composed, too. It seems like the pressure isn't getting to him. He's cool, calm, and collected right now, Humble.
I feel like the first round, a lot of the round he fought his opponent's sort of distance and pace, and what he's really good at is conserving his stamina, letting the fight go a bit later and trying to pick you apart later on and landing certain... Like, he's a sniper. He's a sniper, Cyrus. He can't get into the gritty sort of, moments. He's going to get opened up, especially off the breaks of those. And that's where he's going to struggle. And he's got to really control the octagon, use his movement, and make Smudger almost like a bull with one of them red capes. He's got to kind of, he's got to make sure he kind of leads him on and kind of takes advantage of that later on as he gets tired.
Yeah, the footwork is definitely a key to success here for Lewis, and honestly I feel like, especially in this second round, I mean right now he is acing, he is passing with flying colours. I mean, don't get me wrong, the champion is doing good work, he is continually pressing forward. I feel like the cleaner shots though, definitely coming from the challenger in this second round. Although still a lot of time to work, Jay, 2 minutes as we said in the last round, and a lot happened in the last 2 minutes of that last round.
Oh, yeah, but Leon got to get off that cage, and his block's getting low. He cannot let Kamaru Usman dictate like this.
Yeah, he's got to really try and find a moment where he makes him overcommit. He throws too many shots and he kind of lands some distance to the body. Even this here, see Usman's sort of stamina went really far down right there. Yeah. This is where he's kind of got to really kind of try and take advantage of the lead. He does have another 4 rounds to work though in a minute, well 3 rounds in a minute, so to work. So maybe it's not in his game plan right now to kind of go forward. He wants to let that gas chip away until he knows that he can come forward and start to press. But expect it to happen unless Smudger gets him down. And to your point, Cyrus, you are right. He's landing clean shots, but Smudger's a veteran in this game, and what he's doing is building up damage against the block, which is adding up and over the block damage because that block is incredibly low.
You're absolutely right, brother. It's a race right now between the head health and block of the challenger and the stamina of the champion. Stamina may not be needed for too much longer, Jay, as he gets a nice little hip toss after a big rock to close out this second round. The champion turning the tides and potentially securing a round that may not have been going his way up until that point.
Yeah, he just secured that round, but even though he did, Leon got to be wary of this. I'm not Leon. Kamaru has to be wary of his stamina because if Leon hits him to the body a few shots, it can get nasty, Humble.
Takes one bad body rock when you've got that low stamina to not end the fight, but put you beyond sort of recovery. Look at the recovery though. Look at the recovery. Usman's stamina is shot back up, and this is where, like, Smudger's 2 rounds up. He can take a round off now and then, as well. So he's got to be. I doubt he will, though, Cyrus, but he's in the driver's seat at the moment, and Edwards' head health, it's not looking good.
Yeah, Smudger is not a guy to take any moments off in a fight. He's got his opponent rocked right now. Jay Diamond is pressing his opponent right up against that cage, looking to make it even more easy to set up that takedown or some big, obviously, shots.
Yeah, and this is where Kamaru Usman want to be. He's safe here. He's already up 2 rounds. He can control it and just sit here for the rest of the round, Humble.
Yeah, definitely. And if you think, there's a lot of people in this community as well who are watching this fight, and if you think you've got what it takes to beat these, if you are not a competitor already, sign up, get onto the Discord, and make sure you come in, because this could be you fighting for a title as we do it, and we'll put the Discord in the link. But it's a great performance. It's a great, fantastic championship performance. We've seen this time and time again from Smudger, Cyrus. This is what he's brilliant at. We talked about it earlier on with Dino Gamer. Risk-free sort of fighting. He does it on the feet with a block, breaking the block and then kind of going forward, and he also does it on the ground by chipping away at his opponent's head health. It complements each other.
Yeah, 100%, brother, 100%. It's the way, especially right now, the way that he's mixing it up is, it's a little bit more different from what I'm used to. I'll be honest with you, I'm used to just seeing him do it in the feet, like you mentioned a moment ago, but I feel like this is the next ripple to his game, which was never really missing, but quite clearly was never needed to be shown, and he's having so much success with it as a result. He's getting Lewis off his A game, and Lewis looked to be an incredibly dangerous striker. We've sort of seen absolute moments of brilliance from him, Jay, but as you see on the mat, it's just becoming a little bit overwhelming for him at this stage of the fight.
Yeah, and you say that's the new ripple to his game. Smudger always had that in his back pocket. It's just he's been doing so good on the feet. He hasn't had to use it, but now he's showing his complete game, Humble.
Yeah, 100%, and that's what... This is what they're good at. He's in a great camp. This NM is a fantastic camp where they will use all aspects of the game. I've been around Smudger a lot myself. He's been in the same camp as myself, and he is a fantastic... He likes to drill, he likes to do stuff, but he likes to keep busy. He's one of those guys who's stayed around the last 3-4 months. He's been around at the top of the scene, and he's really thrived during these moments.
He really has, but I have to say, some of those denials were so on point and definitely needed, but now he gets the posture up he was so desperately wanting, obviously just being mindful of his stamina as it approaches the last 30 seconds. That head health's blinking without even being touched right now, Humble.
Yeah, 100%, and that's what I mean. Like, he's done... Where the cleanest shots, it doesn't matter if you land a combinations of punches. When you land that jab through the guard, and you got a 5-star jab and you land on that jab through the guard, it's almost like the stamina, it takes the block down slightly. When you get that block down to almost 0 with a few of those and then land a shot, it just goes through as normal and acts as a clean shot. And if you do that a few times, all of a sudden you've built up much more damage than the chipping away, like the 1-2s and the stuff that kind of lands clean, because you've just continued to hit that block. You've continued to do it. Over time, it will always win you sort of that damage battle.
Shit, bro. Shit. Well, we are in the championship rounds, J-Dime. Smudger is looking the same as he has in every single round, taking the center of the cage and pressing Leon Edwards. But if the fight in real life has shown us anything, it's don't blink, because Leon Edwards can separate a man from consciousness on a moment's notice. And let's be frank, his stamina is still looking good. He's fresh in terms of cardio, maybe not so much health-wise though.
It's not over till the fat lady sings. And like you said, Leon did show us that you can get dominated and still put your opponent away. Just don't give up on yourself, huh?
Imagine that happens. That would be...
Oh my
God. It looks like it's not going to be... Yeah, top mount at least. No, he's not. Survives again. And this is why he's there in that position. You can tell, fantastic competitor, really just come up against, outclassed so far this evening. I don't want to say yet in case anything happens, but Smudger so far for me is he's 4 rounds up right now, or 3.5 rounds up. really needs to do something to turn the tides, hurt him, get some respect somehow, Cyrus, because there's no respect in sort of skill with these two at the moment. Smudger is putting it on him.
Yeah, honestly, like, this is this is one of those fights where it's kind of odd to say this, right? But I feel like the challenger has impressed me a lot here this evening, even though the champion has really been putting it on him. The way he's dealt with that, the way he's been so composed with his shots very, very well. But, you know, it's hard to say that without going, Smudger is quite literally the GOAT right now. He is separating himself from the pack in every single event out here, J-Dime. It's not over yet, brother, but he's looking very good here this evening.
Yeah, Smudger is looking really good, but like we all know, it is not over. This is Leon Edwards, Humble.
Stamina. Like, Smudger just needs to stick behind it because it's getting to the point now where a few more.
Yeah, it's over.
And still, brother, and still, NM Smudger gets the job done. Still undefeated. Still has that belt. All of the bragging rights that come along with it. J-Dime, Mr. Humble Dink. Goodness, this man is a problem. I don't know, bro. He's a problem. He's a problem. It's hard to say much else about the guy.
Telling me he's miles ahead on the pound for pound rankings right now. He's just secured another win. He's 7-0 currently this evening over undefeated top prospects every single time. He's gonna have more coming his way, but every single task, every single spanner that's been thrown at him, he's been dodging that ball, J-Dime. He's been hitting and moving. He's been fantastic.
Yeah.
He showed been no trouble really. PK Diaz had in trouble slightly last week, but so far for Smudger, I don't see any hiccups, no real times where I thought he might lose a fight so far. Someone's got to really step up to beat this guy.
Yeah, somebody has to challenge him. I'm not going to say there's people who don't give him a test, but he needs a real test at this point because right now he's overlapping the division, Cyrus.
Yeah, he is, brother. He is. And like I said, he's had tough fights. I mean, his last fight, Diaz, probably they took him right down to the wire, right? Like that was a tough-ass fight. It's not that he has completely outstyled everybody, but he just continues to impress. He like, I don't really know how to describe it, bro. He seems to have so many different layers to his style, so many different tools at his disposal, and he picks them very, very well. Now, of course, everybody makes a mistake, but right now, at least, this guy is on to... I mean, he's onto something special, and he could be potentially getting his own little emote and, you know, roll within the community very soon, because he's not a million miles away, Humble, from knocking on the door at Trixie's record.
Exactly, and that's what you got to do. Like, if you're a guy who wants to build a legacy, build a statement, and put a sort of stamp on where you're at the moment in your sort of esports career in this sort of community. He's like, we've got loads of things happening at the moment. The next UFC is going to be coming out. We've just had a box game come out. We've had loads going on, and even with Primetime, it's all going to be developing and soon. So you want to stay ahead of the curve. You want to stay on that wave, Cyrus, and keep that momentum as all these big things start to happen. You want to start putting your name forward as one of the best ever, if not the best right now.
Yeah, exactly right, brother. Exactly right. Well, my guys, with all of this being said, a fantastic card, a fantastic night of fights. Same as last night, the action continues to level up week in, week out. Thank you to each and every one of the competitors that came through this evening, put it all on the line and showcased fantastic sets of skills from the start to the very, very end. Of course, thank you to all the supporters that show up each and every time, making these cards bigger and better as we continue to progress through these seasons. Stick around for the reigns at the end. We'll be pushing forward that love and showing, hopefully making somebody's night if we can. But until the next one, we will be back next Friday and Saturday at the usual time. Stay safe, much love, and peace out.